I've been asked to give 10 albums that influenced me, and I thought rather than doing lots of pointless posts, the best way to do it is to just give you a demonstration. Number 1, Boller, Maze. Probably the darkest, deepest IDM misery fest in my collection. I love it. Imagine being, as the cover would suggest, surrounded by hot magma with nowhere to escape, and you get this incredible glitchy soundscape along the lines of definitely for lunch times of the soul. In no particular order. Number 2, Zoria, Floex. Was lucky enough to see Floex live just after Christmas, where they were performing their follow-up to this wonderful John Doe Arise. This is their first album, well, second album, and it's a beautiful blend of Czech classicism and electronic noises. One of the pinnacle tracks, Nell Blue, is stand down the most gorgeous thing in the world on wax. This is Blow Up, also a very good track, sort of, I would say, minimalist funk pop. Only snippets, I'm afraid. Got to keep this brief, but I do suggest people check out these tracks. Next up, my favourite album in the world, Ruxpin, Avalon. Incredible soundscapes. This is the driving track for motorways. It's the most blissed out, robotic, glitchy mind hell you could imagine, and there's nothing else like it. I try and make my own music like this today and fail spectacularly. Still vinyl copies available, I recommend a purchase. Oh man, that just gets you right in there. The final track, Lullaby, I would say hands down is one of my favourite songs. And if you don't know of it, you're missing out. Next up, also in the IDM scene, IDM heavy at the minute, but that will change, Kettle. It's again got a reprint not too long ago on the Perennial series of a Spanish label. Most of us never thought this would see wax, and then were close to tears when it came along. Mayan Jane series is the Ram Ising's way of expressing classical music through acid house, and boy does he deliver. The tunes are often poppy, but rarely do they delve below anything from incredible music. The Wombat is a standout acid track to really get the party started. Notice the classical cadences. Definitely a mood lifter in lockdown. Next up, we have probably the band that started me all off in electronic music, Orbital. I've seen these people 2 or 3 times now. My God, their gigs, if you ever get the chance to see it. The laser shows are uncanny. The song Belfast started me off with a long love affair of electronic music that's been spanning about 10 years now and has enveloped a lot of my money. Their standout track, I mean, most people say this is their pinnacle album, and it really is. It was sort of marked the progressive phase for them in '95, where they developed more of a soundtrack system to their techno aesthetic, but still maintained a lot of the punch. Out There Somewhere exemplifies that perfectly, where you have this sort of X-Files infused rave up that then descends to this perfect string section, very much in the style of Derek May. Again, really hitting home with the chord structures on this one. Wonderfully composed. Change of Scene, an album that's come to mean a lot to me over the last couple of years. Not necessarily the best in the Cunning Linguist's catalogue, but definitely the most diverse. I love Cunning Linguists, and I love the fact that they bring in a lot of guest rappers to share the spotlight. And I mean, this has some awesome people on it. I mean, it's got people like Shiesty Christ, it's got Tone Deaf, it's got Psalm 1. All of the tracks on this, in my opinion, are gold. It features some of their best songmanship, some of their best lyricism, a few cheesy moments, but you know what to expect from those guys. I'm very excited that their newest album just got a vinyl press, and that should be coming through. But with an honourable mention to Sadistic, Flowers for My Father. Wonderful album, although that's for people to explore themselves. A great track on this is, where is it? In the City. Really sums up what it's like living in London at times.
In my city it's blacks and blocks, with avenues and street tops, where people struggle to sleep after trouble and beat gold teeth rocks. Yeah, don't let the high power, but don't reach pots, and don't reach pots.
Check it out. Next up, the Go-Betweens, Oceans Apart. This is a band that I've always listened to and grown up with. It's been a part of my life, car journeys. And recently I introduced them to my girlfriend, and one band that we both agree on. Unfortunately, I've never had a chance to see them live. This was their most successful album. I do own most of their stuff. I think Black Diamond Express is probably slightly better. But this definitely has the corporate hook to it. Making a nice pile on the floor here. God, I'm ruining them. And with this, you get... it was before Grant McClellan died, and you get the best of both songwriting. Here Comes the City was the standout single of the time, and sort of an underlooked Australian rock group around the time of Nick Cave. That's my jam, man. Next up, same decade, different sound. Another car album. I used to grow up with this. Cocteau Twins, Treasure. I love all of the Cocteau Twins, and it's difficult not to be mesmerised by Robin Guthrie and oh, I've forgotten her name. Liz Fraser. Of course it is. Duh. Liz Fraser obviously is incredible vocals in a lot of the music that she does, but this has always been their darkest, most standout album from an ethereal beauty point of view. It sort of really comes across in modern works and things that I like from people like Chelsea Wolfe. I mean, if you like Chelsea Wolfe, this really started off that sound. Popular in underground sense, I think there's still Cocteau Fest going on up north near Grimsby, but I've never been myself. Shame I can't play you more of these. You're just going to have to look them up yourselves. Next up, often a go-to when I'm playing double bass, or just any situation really, Four Heroes' seminal masterpiece. It was criminal that Two Pages did not win the Mercury Prize that year. I've got the sneaky Ultranate single Twisted in the back, also a Diamond song, but this is really where they found their sound between the pinnacles of drum and bass and jazz fusion. It's it's instant soul on a slab. I mean, I've got a few other albums. I mean, people Alpha Mist these days, and August Green are doing things similar, like, but it's just the mix of tension when the rap comes in, rap and jazz, and there's an ecological bent to this, as you can hear in Loveless, which is pretty relevant to the COVID years, as you'll be able to hear.
I never wanted to hurt my children, but our Creator makes me take revenge. It's the circle of life, or at least it was. Now it's the end. No, it's too late for repentance. Accept your death sentence.
Should be clicking along.
I'm giving you all I can. Such beauty in life you'll never have again. Now it's the end. Now it's the end. Now it's the end. Now it's the end.
I can play this. Lots of break. And finally, last but not least, probably one of my favourite musicians as a collection, Ri Harakami. There is nobody quite like Ri Harakami when it comes to electronic music. Very lucky that Japanese label Rings has repressed a lot of the stuff over the last years, and this was the last album he put out before he died of a brain tumour, and it's sort of a collection of early works, later works, bits and pieces that didn't make the other albums, which is a shame because, in my opinion, the more I listen to him, the more I think this is his best collection. It's just so diverse. And the true killer tracks on this, you can't help but smile at this artist because he's so upbeat. Everything is this quirky, blocky, single synth jam, but the way everything is structured is mind-bending. The care and attention he gives to all the notes before I destroy everything just leaves everything amazing. And probably my favourite track of this is Kitakoi, which will perfectly typify what I mean. It's just the raw emotion and the composition and the quality of that behind it all. And the xylophone. Gotta love the xylophone. Right, well, I hope that was entertaining and informative, and that's me signing out.